Hi, everybody. It's me, Alison Tiemann, founder of HoneyBadgerRadio, and I am here to give you a very important announcement. We are having Tommy Sotomayor as one of our keynote speakers at the International Conference on Men's Issues, August 16th, 17th, and 18th in Chicago this year. And he will be speaking on the topic of fatherlessness. And also, very excitingly, we have received our very first smear piece for the ICMI from The Guardian. I'll just read my statement because it's really exciting, and it's been a very exciting day. Now, they didn't wait 2 months until after the ICMI was done, like they did in 2016, to go after Philip Davies. Philip Davies is one of our presenters at ICMI 2019. But in 2016, where he also presented, The Guardian waited till 2 months after to go after him and try to get him fired from his job. So they've been a lot more prompt this year about getting ahead of the ball and getting those smear campaigns out early instead of late. Who knows? But Labour MEP Wes Streeting calls the ICMI a gathering of insecure and sexist man-babies. I guess I'm an insecure and sexist man-baby. Now, I thought that misgendering people is a crime in the UK. Maybe it isn't a crime in the UK, it's just a crime in Canada. But maybe you should rescind that, Streeting, because I don't identify as a sexist man-baby. Streeting also warns that the ICMI includes speakers with extremist views. Streeting goes on to say, Philip Davies should not be lending what little credibility he has on gender equality issues to such an event, and that it's time more men in Parliament called out sexism and misogyny directed at women. Isn't sexism directed at women misogyny? Or why would you repeat those two unless you thought that sexism couldn't include anything but misogyny? And also, little credibility? I mean, it's interesting it took Davies announcing attendance at the ICMI, or being put on our website at the ICMI, for a Labour MEP to grudgingly allow that Davies has any credibility. Davies quite rightly points out in the article that speaking at a conference does not mean condoning the views of everyone in attendance or every presenter presenting. That's absurd. Of course, The Guardian isn't honestly reporting on the views of the presenters at ICMI. It alleges that Janice Fiamengo, of Fiamengo Files fame, supports a white nationalism, but offers no evidence except to say that she backed the conspiracy theory that the Notre Dame fire may have been the work of Islamist attackers. And that comes on the heels of numerous other fires being set in churches in France by Islamist extremists. So it's not really that out of the ordinary or something that just comes out of left field to say, well, maybe this was part of that string of attacks. So, really? And also I noticed that The Guardian gave no links to anything that they said Janice Fiamengo said. Nothing. Now, unlike the other items of note, the other speakers that they pointed out and said these are extremists like Sargon and Paul and Philip, or Mr. Davies, and is it Mr. Davies or is it like MEP Davies? Is there like Lord Davies? Is that, I don't know, but Philip Davies and also Mike Buchanan. They gave links to things that they had actually said, except for Janice Fiamengo, probably because they couldn't actually find anything on her except being a white supremacist. I guess it's even more absurd, or even The Guardian realizes it's silly to call Janice Fiamengo a male supremacist. But regardless, also cited as an extremist was Mike Buchanan's statement that men have no worth as human beings except in how they support women and children. The prime example of this is how The Guardian has The Guardian's own reporting. If you do a search on Guardian women, you will find a long list of issues that The Guardian feels that women face and how women are victims of society. If you do a search on Guardian men, you don't find that. In fact, one of the first hits on the front page is this very article by The Guardian condemning and calling out a men's issues conference for even existing. So what does that say about how we care about men versus women, or how we care about men versus women's issues? I mean, there's almost no space for men's issues. We're the only ones talking about it. And of course, that makes us the bad people, rather than the people who are silencing us for trying to talk about it. Finally, The Guardian takes a jab at Paul Elam, founder of A Voice for Men. It cites as evidence of Paul's virulent misogyny and male supremacy a satirical article Paul wrote 10 years ago in which he defended domestic violence abuse victims fighting back and condemned feminists cheering on domestic abusers. The Guardian then goes to support the opinions of actual racists and sexists, the Southern Poverty Law Center, an organization currently embroiled in a scandal over its racist caste system and multiple allegations of sexual harassment leveled against co-founder Morris Dees. Perhaps The Guardian's real problem with ICMI 2019 is that its chair is me, a woman, and it has a woman and a black man as headliners, and its local host is a Hispanic man. No, maybe it's because we defy that racial caste system. Yeah. At the end of the article, I have to ask, did the author of this article wander into a house of mirrors and then report on all of the spooky sexists and racists he saw himself surrounded by? I'm not going to explain the joke. I'm going to resist that, but this is actually really cool. We're getting more attention from the press for the ICMI. The Guardian is actually giving us attention prior to the event rather than after. And they've sort of stepped back in their approach to what they're doing to Philip Davies. I mean, prior they tried to get him fired. Now they're just going, tut, 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 don't be a naughty boy. Which is a huge step backwards. Who knows what they're going to do in 5 years? Maybe they'll be completely neutral. Who knows? Maybe they'll embrace some ethics and actually get our side of the story, our real side of the story, not just whatever they could dig up on us to smear us in the worst way possible, which is pretty tepid when you look at this article. This is the worst. I mean, the worst you can find about Morris Day is that he actually created a racial caste system and he actually sexually abused women. The worst you can find about Paul is he said, men who are sexually abused should be able to defend themselves. And then some satire, which, I mean, it's like satire. It's not all satire has to be funny. Some of it is just painful, like Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal. Are they also going to say that he genuinely advocated cannibalism? No. So don't say that Paul is genuinely advocating beating people. Because he's not. He said it's satire. It's satire to make a point. And the point is that you focus so much on this statement that he said was satire, and it was satirizing the feminist attitude of contempt and indifference towards male pain when men are abused by women, specifically that Jezebel article which was celebrating the abuse of men. He's saying you're going to care more about my satirical statements about beating female abusers, not just women, female abusers, self-defense against female abusers. You're going to take that, you're going to be more concerned about it than the original article that was condoning and was not satire. It was condoning the abuse of men and vulnerable people by women. This point was made, but of course, the point is lost. At least on The Guardian. The true sexists. All right. If you want to join this merry band of rebels and miscreants of a intellectual sort, not in any way a physical miscreant, but like intellectual miscreants, the ones who don't toe the party line. If you want to join this merry band of rebels who stand up against media lies, like this one, The Guardian, there's another one from iNews in the UK. If you want to do that, go to icmi.info. Find out more about the convention. And if you want to get a ticket, you can go here, somewhere here. In this, I'm creating a ball. It'll be in the ball somewhere there to get a ticket and come join us. We have less than 15 accommodation tickets left, and accommodations will give you access to the hotel that all of the speakers are staying at, except Phyllis Davies. He decided to stay somewhere else. But everybody else is staying in that hotel, including Dankula, Sargon, Tommy, Karen, Janice, Paul. We're all going to be staying there. We're going to be having lots of fun. So, yeah, join us. Join us in the We Want the Truth party. And if you like our message here on Honey Badger Radio, please consider becoming a supporter. www.feedthebadger.com. There are one-time options and reoccurring subscriptions. Subscriptions give you access to our Discord, where we have lots of social events going on all the time and a very active chat. Very supportive community, and they love new people. So come on down, feedthebadger.com, become a subscriber, support the show, have fun. And that's me signing off. I totally forgot. If you want to hear more about this subject with me and the gang at the Badger Live Streams channel, go here. It's like I'm playing Tetris, invisible pokey Tetris. Go there. And you can listen to more of us, me and Brian and Lindsay, talking about this Guardian article. See ya!